Okay. What are some reasons someone would choose a holdco over a trust or a trust over a holdco?
Okay. Um, so I think in the terms of corporate tax planning,
Hmm.
if we're at that stage where we are introducing a trust, then you're
Hmm.
typically close to an exit. And what I mean by an exit is your operating company is close to selling, or we're realizing
Mm.
some capital gain of some matter. And the reason for that is because we're allowed to divide this capital gain amongst the trust's beneficiaries. So that's when I would say the main, I guess, criteria of introducing a family trust comes into play when we have that sort of capital gain trigger that comes into effect. When we're just
Hmm.
dealing with like the growth mode, where your operating company is generating profits and you're not thinking of selling that business for 20 years because we're in our early 30s maybe, and
Mm.
we have a long runway left. You don't
Hmm.
necessarily want to have a family trust, or you may not even have a family to put in a trust at that stage. So
Hmm.
you wouldn't introduce a family trust at that point.
Okay, so it sounds like people usually start with holdcos early on, like earlier on, like in their business journey, and then the family trust is for later when they're about to exit.
That's usually the case. Or if you know that, like, if you're like in, let's say, if we're talking to some VCs out there that are in hyper growth stages, because we all know that in the world we live in today, you could create $1 billion company uh from in 10 years time, maybe even faster these days. So
Yeah.
if you do have that, where you expect that from the onset, which very few listeners probably have that situation, but there might be the one or two out there that do. If
Hmm.
you are expecting a very quick rise in net worth, then it is worthwhile to have a family trust set up initially. But I would say for the 99.9% of people out there in a small business, it is something that you would do down the road, when you're close to your exit.